All right, let's dive into something that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's totally real, and it's happening right under our feet. We're talking about the secret electrical language of fungi.
Seriously, just picture this. The next time you walk through a forest, remember that right beneath your boots, the ground is literally buzzing. There's this huge, silent conversation going on, a network packed with information. And you know what? We're only just starting to figure it out.
So, how? How is the forest talking if there are no words, no sounds? Well, the answer lies in this absolutely incredible biological system that, believe it or not, connects the whole ecosystem.
So, to get to the bottom of this, we've got to look a little closer into this invisible world. It's basically a secret electrical network. Think of it like a bustling information highway, just hidden from view. And yeah, this network is anything but quiet or static. It actually pulses with life. It's a dynamic, living system. Electrical signals are constantly zipping through the soil, carrying these super important messages.
Okay, so how on earth did we even figure this out? It's actually a really cool story. It all comes down to scientific curiosity, to a few researchers who basically decided to eavesdrop on a conversation that nobody was even sure was really happening. And the way they did it was, well, kind of brilliant in its simplicity. They took these tiny little electrodes and carefully placed them into the mycelium, that giant root-like network that fungi use to spread out for miles and miles. And then they just listened. That's it. They were literally bugging the fungal kingdom. What they found was just wow. It was astonishing. They picked up these really clear, distinct electrical impulses, little spikes of activity just traveling through the network. This was it. This was the proof they were looking for. Fungi were actually generating and sending electrical messages. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how does this even work? It's not magic, right? Nope, it's all biology, a process called bioelectric signaling. So let's break down the science of how these fungi actually talk. It all starts with something called hyphae. The easiest way to think of them is like the biological wires for this whole network. They're these super, super fine thread-like filaments that stretch for miles and miles underground, creating the actual pathways for those electrical signals to travel on. And the comparison to neurons is just perfect. The hyphae really do act like tiny little neurons. It's like each one is a biological wire that can generate and pass along an electrical spike. But here's the part that's really going to blow your mind: the complexity. Scientists have started analyzing these spike patterns, and they found that they actually look like a language with a vocabulary of up to 50 different words. So let's walk through how this whole communication process works. First, something happens, a trigger. Let's say the fungus finds a new source of nutrients. That's step one. Step two, that trigger generates an electrical impulse. Then, step three, that impulse zips along through those hyphae wires. And finally, other parts of the network receive that message and actually respond. See, it's a complete communication loop from start to finish. Okay, cool. Fungi can send electrical signals. But so what? Why does this even matter? Well, this is where it gets really interesting, because this communication isn't just about the fungus itself. It plays this absolutely critical role in coordinating the health and the activity of the entire forest. So what are they even talking about? Well, all sorts of things. The signals could be a call for help, like, hey, we need more nutrients over here. Or it could be a warning signal about a threat, like an insect attack. Or maybe it's just a message to coordinate growth. These aren't random blips. They're messages with a real purpose. And what this all adds up to is pretty amazing. By sharing all these resources and all this information, this fungal network actually makes the whole forest stronger, more resilient. It allows the ecosystem to act like a single coordinated organism, responding to challenges together, instead of just being a bunch of separate plants. There's a really practical takeaway here for us too. If you're a gardener, just knowing this communication is happening can change everything. You can actually work with the fungal networks in your own soil. If you pay attention to which plants are thriving together, it can give you clues about what's happening in that underground network. And that helps you support and nurture this super important part of your garden's health. So let's just take a step back and think about what this all means. This discovery really, truly changes how we should see a forest, doesn't it? It's not just a quiet, peaceful place. It's a place that is absolutely humming with these incredible, unseen conversations. I think if there's one big takeaway here, it's this. Communication is fundamental to life, and it happens in ways we're only just starting to imagine. That forest floor is alive. There's a whole conversation happening right now, right under our feet. This whole bioelectric signaling thing, it's just one of nature's incredibly elegant solutions to a really complex problem. It's the tool that allows millions and millions of these tiny threads to work together to act as one big unified system. And that helps the entire forest not just survive, but thrive. And that kind of leaves us with one last really fascinating thought, right? If fungi have this whole electrical language going on, what other secret conversations are happening all around us? What are the plants saying to each other? What about the insects, the oceans? It's a pretty incredible mystery to think about. Well, I hope you enjoyed diving into this amazing world of fungal electricity with me. And if you thought this was cool, you're going to love our next explainer. We're going to build on all of this and explore how this communication system creates one of the most powerful partnerships in nature. It's called symbiosis, how fungi and trees grow together. I'll see you then.